I will call this meeting of the planning commission on March 9th, 2026 to order. Please stand. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Quickly before we get started, I just wanted to introduce Adam Kelly, our new planning commissioner. So Adam, welcome to the planning commission.
Thank you.
All right, looking to approval of February 9th, 2026 minutes as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Got a motion, looking for a second?
I'll second.
Got a second, any discussion on the minutes? Okay, I'll call for vote, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Joel, is that you?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Joel, for being in line. Moving on to the chicken permit. I don't want to mess this up. Quizstick, okay, please, 31217, Red Oak Lane, please come on up. Thank you. Please tell the board what you're looking to do.
We are looking to get town permission to have chickens on our property.
Board, any questions for her?
I noticed you're talking about 4 hens
Correct,
and you've got the dimensions for the coop and the area.
correct.
You've got your manure plan.
Mhm.
You have the written notification of the neighbors, the signatures,
Correct.
and the deputy clerk told me this afternoon, your permit from the state came in.
We sent it last week, yes.
Okay, so you're all set as far as I'm concerned. I would motion to approve.
I got a motion to approve, looking for a second.
I'll second.
Motion second, any discussion? Call for vote, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. All right, site plan review, conditional use permit renewal. Painted Dolan Inc., Honey Creek operation, 34422 High Drive, requesting a site plan review and a 2-year renewal of existing CUP for sand and gravel extraction and related accessory uses. Painted Dolan here?
Mhm.
All right, so come up, state your name and stuff. Thank you.
Yep, of course. Hi, everyone. Jane Buckles with Payne and Dolan. First, just want to say thank you for taking the time to review our application. I do have a couple copies here. Do you guys all have copies
Yeah, we
of
have.
everything? Site plan? Okay, perfect. Like it says on the cover letter there, we're just requesting a 2-year renewal of our existing conditional use permit. We're not requesting any changes from the town or the county, who we see next week. I can go over a little bit of the operations on the site this past year briefly for you. So last year was pretty quiet. We didn't do any major dirt work on site, so no stripping of overburden or topsoil occurred. We didn't have our portable crushing plant on site and running either. Typical operations, we were still loading and hauling out dump trucks from the site though, and we're expecting similar operations going into this year too. Always depends on what kind of jobs come up in the area, but that's what we're at least looking at this year. I met Brian Jensen and Chad Sampson from Racine County out there last week for a tour and inspection just to make sure we're compliant with all of our conditions. I'm not sure if they report that to you, but all was good there. And I know I come here every other year and offer a tour, and I'll still do that this year. If anyone ever wants a tour of the Honey Creek site or our Clearwater site, also in the town over on Highway 83, we're happy to do that for Plan Commission, town board, staff, anyone on the committees. I think it's really helpful to kind of put in perspective what we're asking for and letting you guys see into our operations and what we're doing on site. So keep that in mind and be happy to do that. That's all I have, unless you guys have any questions for me.
Let's make a motion.
Just one question. Does the town have any complaints that have come in about the operation?
Not that
That's
I've heard.
good news. On that basis, I would move to approve.
Got a motion to approve, looking for a second?
I'll second.
Got a second, any more discussion? All right, we'll call for a vote, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, passes. All right. That is it. Okay, looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Got a motion to adjourn, looking for a second?
Second.
A second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
5:05, that's quick.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. We're gonna take a little break now. Ready? All right. We'll call this meeting of the Waterford Town Board on March 9th at 5:30 P.M. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I need to quick on that.
Sure.
Because we do have Supervisor Marchewski online, anything with voting, if we could do a roll call vote and then I'll take his vote just so we get it all, because there is a delay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sounds good, thank you. All right, looking for approval of town board minutes dated February 9th, 2026, and special minutes dated February 13th, 2026 to March 5th, 2026 printed.
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
Got a motion approved, looking for a second?
I'll second.
All right, discussion? There's no discussion, we'll call for it, all in favor?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Tom?
Aye.
Thank you.
Approval of town board minutes, oh, no, I'm sorry, approval of vacant claims as presented, treasury report. We'll do that first, and we'll do discussion and possible action regarding Wayne second, so let's do the treasury report first.
Okay, the general and tax checking has $318,547. General operating money market, $1,041,591. The estimated loan payoff is $741,716. And then our future reevaluation reserve is the $250,000.
Thank you. Questions on the details? If no questions, let's move on to make a motion to approve the treasury report.
Move to approve the treasurer's report as presented.
Got a motion, looking for a second?
I'll second.
Okay, call for a vote, all in favor? Dale?
Aye.
Andrew?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna have correspondence. I have no correspondence that came in prior to the meeting.
Boyd Park 6.
Oh, yes, thank you, Bob. Discussion of possible action, Boyd Park 6. This was sent to us by our engineer. I'm gonna recommend, my recommendation is not to proceed with paying the app because Payne and Dolan tried changing the terms of the agreement. And if the board approves it, we lose our negotiating power of holding them accountable for the date the project was supposed to be done. So everybody's got the packet, stuff like that. I've already conferred with legal about it, and I've already told my recommendation that we don't pay it, so. I guess I'm looking for a motion not to pay Wayne Park Act 6 until our engineer gets the final detail report of what we need.
I agree with that.
Do you want to make the motion then?
Until the,
Well, we haven't paid that number 5, so we wouldn't be paying that number 6 either, so.
It's paid about half of that.
Yeah, we did to be nice, yes.
I'll make that motion.
Can I hear the motion, please?
We're gonna pay 6 until,
Use your button.
I'm just saying that loud so I understand. Make the motion not to play app 6 until the contract goes back to what it was. For the date.
And I got a motion. Looking for a second.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion?
Did they give any indication as to why they changed the date?
Yes, because then I'll be held accountable for the fees that our contract calls for. Can't look, what is the term I'm looking for? The term of the fees that,
Liquidated damages.
that's right, exactly, liquidated damages. So they're trying to get out of paying liquidated damages, and that's our settlement. So the longer we delay this, the more it's gonna cost them, but we still got a little bit of project out there too, so.
But if we were to pay it, that means we agree to them changing the date?
Yes,
That's the term that they proposed in there.
that's what they proposed to pay up 6, so that's why I'm saying I recommend 9 pay up 6. So I get a motion second, any further discussion? If not, I'll call for a vote. Bob, we'll start with you. Aye. Dale?
Aye.
Andrew?
Aye.
I'm aye.
Aye.
Aye, passes.
Thank you.
Okay. Department committee reports. Mr. Greg Horick, come on up.
Should be on, no? Good luck.
Hello.
Speak about Rocco.
You'll never find. There we go. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, thank you for this opportunity. I did send my report in, last week. There was an attachment to that report, which was only one of two that I tried to forward to you, which were a PowerPoint presentation regarding projects going on in the county right now. One of them had to do with the communications center and the construction of the new public safety building. The other one had to do with the departmental health building. Unfortunately, the one file was too large, so it didn't get through to you. We'll work out a way. I spoke to Ryan earlier. We'll come up with a way that we can get that off to you. What you should expect from us now is that on a quarterly basis, you're going to see updates exactly where these projects stand, how much money has been put into them, and get a sense of exactly the progress that's going on or lack thereof. Right now, I'm pleased to say that those projects are all on board moving forward. So that in and of itself was a positive, and I want to again keep the board and keep the town aware of the things that the county is doing. Next item I wanted to talk about was that the county has just completed a, let's call it a compensation study. Now, it wasn't just for wages, it had to do with everything involving personal time, vacations. It has to do with insurance, the entire gamut of taking care of the associates of the county, which roughly is about 1,100. This was necessary to get done because, first of all, we haven't had a compensation program in place. So unfortunately, things have been done a little bit too, call a seat of the pants type of discussions. I'm pleased to say we now have a plan that is in the process of being reviewed by the full county board. It was approved by the Finance and Human Resource Committee the other night. Tomorrow night, we have our first reading at the county level. And then in 2 weeks, we have the second reading. So more to come on a follow-up as to approval or not. We'll let you all know, but at this point, I felt comfortable to see that we finally have something that we can be talking about going forward. The county's challenges continue to have a fiscal element to it, and I'm hoping that this will become a big part in helping move it forward in a positive direction. Last item I wanted to share today, it was not on the list, but I did want to let the board know that I have been active with the WWMD to work on the hopefully securing of the funds from the Monsanto settlement that occurred here. I believe it was back in 23. And so I am continuing to try to offer my support to the WWMD as they're in the process of trying to request funding that was established as a part of this Monsanto settlement fund. This had to do with the problem with PCBs going into the water. And the actual fund itself was set aside solely for the purpose of having to do with helping improve and maintain the waterways in Racine County. So we're hoping that this will work to our advantage, certainly for the district's opportunities moving forward as they try to help some of the challenges that we're having in our own waterway in the backyard. So at this point, that's all I had on this report, but always available to answer any questions.
I have no questions. Any of the board members?
Thank you all very much. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you. Greg.
All right.
And by the way, Tom, I hope you're putting on a lot of sunscreen.
We're working on it, Greg.
He's in a nice Hawaiian shirt.
All right, moving on to police department. Thank you. Numbers for February, we had 12 PD accidents, property damage accidents, 16 assist citizens. We had 7 mental subjects, 10 reckless driving, 59 rescue runs, 55 traffic violations, 10 welfare checks, and we had a total of 552 calls. Out of those calls, we had 226 were for the town, 314 for the village. Some noteworthy events coming up. We have our second coffee with a cop in April. We also have our business owners open forum. That's going to be March 25th. Going forward, we're going to call it, it's going to have a title of Business in Blue.
We're gonna continually do that, probably quarterly with our local businesses, and they can come in and discuss their any opinions or thoughts they have with the PD. That's gonna be March 25th at 8 o'clock. And then next Thursday, March 19th, we have a community internet safety event. That's gonna be hosted at Fox River Middle School. And that's gonna be put on, presented by the DOJ, Department of Justice, and Police Department will be present for that with any questions too. And have some high school representation there as well, including myself.
All right, any questions for Officer May? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we're going to Michigan Fire Company. And okay, said, no report, they had calls though, he's unable to attend tonight, so. We'll move on to Waterford Waterway Management District.
All it. Please.
I didn't think you had a report. Huh?
Please.
Come on up, Ed. Sorry, Bill.
It's on your agenda.
I know, but you weren't here last time, so I didn't figure, in the report from last time, in the report was.
You meant,
Okay.
I know.
Do you have a copy for me?
You will have this when I'm done.
Okay, thank you.
Chill. Good evening, Chairman Skolinski, town board supervisors, and Brianna. Happy good afternoon. On behalf of my fellow police committee members, I'm pleased to announce that the police committee is on schedule and within budget in our task of rebuilding the town of Waterford PD. Relative to schedule, one of the goals we set for ourselves was to have the PD rebuilt within 1 year of when the police committee was formed. We will meet that goal. Relative to budget, the police committee per se has no budget. That's why we're well within budget. After a dozen of resume reviews, candidate interviews, and literally dozens and dozens of man hours spent, we asked for no stipend. We asked only to be allowed to give back to the community we love. However, should the board consider anything for my fellow committee members, not me, it would be possibly some civic award, possibly. Consider this, one of the last times our committee met to interview candidates was in this town hall where we spent 11 straight hours locked up in this room. Can you imagine locked up with me in the same room for that long? They should get a Purple Heart. Doug Schwartz is requesting combat pay. All seriousness aside, relative to the criteria we set for ourselves when reviewing the PD candidates, obviously they needed to meet the professional credentials for the job. I also set rules as chair that we would select candidates to be presented to the board that were unanimously approved by the committee, and all candidates' applications were reviewed by all committee members, not just the majority. When reviewing, we wanted to make sure that they were a good fit for our community, a good fit for our existing WPD, and also a good fit for the rest of the town and village employees. That was very important for us. Based on the feedback we got so far, everything is working according to plan. We will be doing within a week another round of interviews. Concurrently, we are working on a long-term police contract with the village of Waterford. We met several times working together on a proposal, and I'm confident we'll have something shortly relative to language and then submit the proposal to both boards to discuss the final details. The chief is not with us tonight, but I would like to give kudos to the outstanding work he's done thus far. And I know he has even more good things in store for our communities. Recognition, once again, Mike, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I want to thank you again for stepping up over a year ago, take over the helm. I think if you haven't, I don't think we'd be talking right now, but thank you, and officers Polka, Halliday, and Loriani.
Thank you, appreciate that.
The residents who are for local law enforcement don't realize just how important you were in keeping this WPD alive, so thanks once again. Board members, I'd like to thank you for pledging to move forward with keeping the WPD and going along with police committee's hiring recommendations. Dale Gorky, just in case I don't have the opportunity, while you're still sitting on the dais, thank you for all your years of service. You did outstanding work. I always appreciated the fact or the homework that you did when issues were presented, and also to having an open ear to the residents of this community. Thank you again and happy trails on your next adventure.
Thank you.
Last but not least, I want to thank an individual who approximately 18 months ago was bold enough with another individual to step up and run against the incumbent chairperson at the time and won. What we're doing right now, this might not have been possible for you, Chairman Sokolinski. So take a bow. I know your reward is all the blissful days you've had with the town since you were elected. Thank you. Any questions?
I have no questions for it. Okay, thank you, Ed. All right, now we'll move on to WMD. Bill?
Mr. Chairman, Town Board Supervisors, I'm happy to give my WWMD report tonight. Regarding drawdown dredging, we are working to pursue the Monsanto funds from Racine County. I will add to Greg's report. Greg has been working very closely with us to develop a PowerPoint presentation to ask Racine County for $1 million in funding from the Monsanto settlement to help pay for an estimated $5 to $6 million drawdown dredging project in years 2027 and 2028. This is a two-step process. The first step is to go before the Racine County Finance and Human Resources Committee. If this committee agrees with our presentation, then we advance to step 2. This meeting is to take place on March 18th. Step 2, go before the full Racine County Board for the funding request. I also like to update you on Baxter Woodman engineering updates. Baxter Woodman, our engineering firm that we've contracted for the drawdown dredging, are providing monthly updates at our monthly WWMD meetings as to the status of their work and the interactions with the Wisconsin DNR. We are still anticipating that we have a drawdown take place this fall, likely sometime in October. Riparians are encouraged to ensure they remove their watercraft from the waterway before that time, so they'll need to make adjustments. We will have multiple communications as we move forward here into the boating season. I have an update for the APM plan. This week, the WWMD is planning to formally submit our updated APM plan to the Wisconsin DNR to allow us to then apply for a 5-year mechanical harvesting permit. A copy of our draft plan is on our website, and we are open to receiving comments from the public. That's my report. Does anybody have any questions?
Any questions for Bill?
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you. All right, Park and Road Department, Tim.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. For parks, I have nothing to report tonight. For roads, we have only had 3 snow events in February. Weight restrictions were put on town roads as of February 18th, and they were taken off today, and they were on for a total of 19 days. Waterford beautification is coming up again, and it's in its 9th year and will be running starting March 28th until May 1st. The town, along with the village DPW, will be assisting residents in this annual community cleanup. Assistance will include having a donated dumpster placed here in our back parking lot for garbage collected, being a location for people to pick up garbage bags and gloves during regular hours. We'll pick up garbage bags left at the areas where garbage is collected. Residents should call our office at 262-534-5705 with a location of where they gathered the garbage for us to pick up. We're always appreciative of this community-wide event, and we thank everyone who takes the time to participate and help keep our community clean. Check for more information on the town's website or go to Waterford Government Accountability page on Facebook for more details. That's my report.
Okay, thank you. Any questions before we go on the action items here?
Yes, sir. Last month, while we were talking about the garage door, I remembered the event incorrectly, so I want to apologize for my comment last month. The door did substantially go all the way down. What I was remembering was that the officer left while the door was only about halfway and showed no indication that he was going to ensure that the building was secured. So as I said last month, I hope that we come up with a plan to ensure that building that has a lot of valuable equipment in it is secured at the end of each day. And I believe it also raises the question of why are personal vehicles being parked in the DPW garage? I understand the chief's not here, so perhaps that's something that we can address in the future.
Thank you. All right, discussion on possible action regarding selling of DPW equipment mentioned by Jim at the last meeting. Last meeting, we all got a list. An opportunity to talk to Jim, anything that we disagreed about not selling right away. I had a couple I mentioned to Jim and he told me that we really don't use anymore. I mentioned, I think the sandbag or the lift truck or something like that, so. We discussed it, so. Everybody's got the list here. Potential, again, with selling anything, you don't know what you can get for it. You may get more, you may get less, but it's a ballpark number, so. What action would this board like to take on these items?
Well, I'd like to take Jim's recommendation. If this is a surplus equipment that we're not using, it's taking up valuable space. What process do you use to, or what website would you use to,
There's like three possible ones we could use. I think we used govdeals.com last time because they were the one organization that made the buyer pay for the fees. And the other two, I believe, will make us pay for the fees. So it worked very well last time for Ken. We were very happy with the amount of money we've got for that equipment also. I was shocked at what we got for it. So I haven't made that decision for sure, and we can talk about that when that time comes.
Sure.
But
anyone else?
I have no further questions. Bob, any questions? Andrew?
No questions, Jim?
Tom?
Tim, just a question or a clarification when we talked about this last month. I'm fully in support of Jim's recommendations, and he did take the operations committee through the details of the specific items, why he felt that they were, they could be sold and we were no longer needing them. So all that made sense, and I'm supportive of that. I just wanted to clarify that when we do sell these items, that the proceeds that the town gets back is going to go back into whatever the appropriate DPW reserve funds or accounts is from an accounting perspective. So that's my understanding. That would be my recommendation, is that that's the way the proceeds are handled. And I just wanted to get that on the record.
Are you making the motion?
I'm making a motion to get this board's approval for Jim to proceed in selling the items he brought to this board last month.
And putting in the reserve account? for DPW?
And putting the proceeds into the DPW reserve account. Thank you.
Okay, there's a motion. I'm looking for a second.
I'll second that.
A motion second. Any further discussion?
Yeah, just a question about the reserve account. Is that equipment reserve?
yeah, we have an equipment reserve. We also have a truck reserve.
Okay, so the equipment reserve fund is where the money
That would be
go.
great.
Okay, great. Thank you for clarifying.
Any other discussion? All right, now we'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right,
Andrew?
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, approval to attend WTA sponsored road school. Does not sound that exciting, but maybe it is, all right? Two girls, so. I don't know, usually when you go talking to the Dells, it's not that pathetic, but. All right, so Jim, I'll let you speak to this to the board.
Okay, so this is going on, it's held by the Towns Association meetings group from the state. It's got a conference in Wisconsin Dells. It's being held from Monday, April 27th to Wednesday, April 29th. Some topics to be discussed are small bridge update and then grants for that. Road grants, pavement preservation, pavement ratings, seminars on crack filling, brush control, and flagger training. I'm also asking that this not to exceed $600 as long as we can reserve it by April 3rd. If we go past April 3rd, it's another probably a couple $100.
All right, any questions for Jim on this class here?
No question, but I agree that it's a great conference with lots of important topics for the DPW, so I'm strongly encouraging us to let Jim go.
Are you gonna make the motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion to allow Superintendent Jim Maney to attend the Towns Association Town Road School in the Wisconsin Dells from April 27th to the 29th for an amount not to exceed $600.
All right, we have a motion looking for a second. Second, anybody?
I'll second.
Got a second. Any further discussion?
Yeah, one thing, Tim, one thing on this, I again am fully supportive of Jim Manny attending this conference. I think it'd be valuable. My only request, Jim, is that at your May report, include whatever key learnings or ahas you took away from this conference. I think it'd be important for the whole board to understand the value you took away from it, and if appropriate, how you would like to see that applied to town public works business.
Absolutely, I'd be glad to do that.
Great.
Okay, got a motion, second, we're gonna call for a vote here. All in favor? Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Alright,
Aye.
All right, passes.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to operations committee. No report?
No report.
Okay, no report. Moving on to ordinance committee. Dave?
So thank you, sorry.
Chairman, board members. The committee met with the Operations Committee on February 26, 2026. We did not have a quorum. I canceled the meeting at that time. Did not have a quorum. The Ordinance Committee met on March 5th and worked on quite a few things. In my report, I don't know if you want me to spell out each sub and
You can just do the highlights.
Okay.
You have like the update I need to view and
Okay.
tell them,
okay.
but I need all the numbers. Cause you just sent them to me, I think yesterday, so I haven't had time to review them.
Okay. So we updated the UTV ATV ordinance 14.11 and made some amendments, of which are in front of you. There was one that was added that did not pass by unanimous consent, and that was sub 8, which has to do with time of day. It passed 2-1 with one no vote. And all the other subs mentioned in there passed unanimously 3-0. We worked on the ordinance 2.3 A, which is the preceding officer's role responsibilities. In that ordinance, we added 3 lines, 3 subs, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is a procedure to allow supervisor to add to the meeting agenda. Motion passed 3-0. Added to ordinance 14.3 sub A, we added Miller Road as item 46. In that sub, that lists all the roads. That passed unanimously. We reviewed the 6.7, heard from residents and committee members. That was, I'm sorry, I'm losing it here.
That was your recycling ordinance.
Yeah, right, the recycling ordinance.
You don't have to put stuff.
Yeah, we did quite a bit of work on that. I think that the one thing that I want to point out is that we removed struck in our work, sub 8-16. We removed it.
Yeah.
And then we renumbered on down from there. That was the big thing.
Or do we leave that under new business here tonight?
And that passed, all these motions passed 3-0. Okay, the nice one. Discussion of revision to the peer ordinance and no action taken. I forwarded a summary to all the board members through the chair. I'd like to read that just so we all are on the same page. The ordinance committee had a lengthy discussion regarding current peer ordinances. The committee determined that the existing ordinances should include specific penalties for noncompliance with town ordinances and or for building a pier without a permit. Penalties added to the ordinance should include monetary as well as corrective action required to bring a non-compliant pier into compliance with the town's ordinance. To determine, that is to determined by the board, not by the, we felt that it was the board's duty to give us a number or whatever you want, and we'll work it in. And lastly, additional discussion determined that the existing ordinances in general are thorough, but is not being adequately monitored or enforced. It came to our attention that basically, once they get their permit, they're done. There's no more review of what was done. So the current ordinance is pretty specific that a board member shall inspect when completed. And we're not doing that, as far as I know. So that's my report. Any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Jordan?
Hey, Dave, this is Tom. I do have a question for you regarding the pier permit discussion. One of the things that I think we had some question or confusion about with the pier permit applications that came before the Planning Commission and the board the last couple of months were with respect to how the ordinance is written in measuring, I'm not sure what the right phraseology here, but basically lot line measurements out into the waterway, you know, whether those lot line measurements and the lines associated with those are effectively described and represented in the ordinance. And it seemed as though, and again, I might not be remembering this exactly, but there was some confusion on the part of some applicants regarding whether this was lot line extensions based on a CSM or this coterminous measurement approach based on lots that had irregular lot lines. And did any of that come up, or any thoughts around clarification that the ordinance committee thought might be appropriate on that?
I'm gonna defer. I mean, Dave talked to me about this, and again, this is a DNR change. I'm gonna put Tony to answer your question, because this came up because we had it one way in our ordinance and the DNR had it differently. So Tony, you wanna respond to that?
It actually mirrors what the DNR has in there. So the way to measure is dependent on the shoreline. So if it's a relatively straight shoreline, then you just do extension of the lot line. If it's irregular, then it's the coterminous. Our ordinance also put in there like, or whatever, I don't know the exact language, but whatever's acceptable through the DNR. So I suppose the DNR could add another way to extend lot lines. I think part of, so that matches, and that's not necessarily the issue. I think what has come up, in my opinion, is over the years, when the pier applications come in, it's just sort of like a small picture rather than the full area. So perhaps the planning commission and or board was not necessarily looking at if the correct extension or coterminous method was used. And then once that's approved, that then creates an issue down the road for neighbors and future permits.
Okay, yeah, so Tony, just to follow up on that. So your recommendation or your analysis of this is that those elements of the current pier permit ordinance seem aligned with DNR regulations, and no further changes or suggested improvements should be done there?
Not with respect to the language of the ordinance. I think it's got to be a little bit more careful going forward with the planning commission and the board then approving the applications and making sure that the correct extension method was used.
Okay, so what I'm hearing you say there is that maybe there is a process change or something that we might want to incorporate into the process in terms of what an applicant brings forward?
Yeah, I think we should look at that, because like Dave said, we approve them at the board, they go do them, and nobody ever checks to see what they did.
Yeah,
They're supposed to submit a picture afterwards, I don't know. I don't look at any pictures after it's done, you know what I mean? So I think there's gotta be a follow-up, maybe not to involve more with the police department, but boat patrol. When they're out there, takes a picture of this pier, you know what I mean? So there's something we can consider to handle that final step, I think. So that's something that we'll have to discuss, and when you're back, and maybe that's an operational thing. So,
okay. All right, we can leave it at that. Thanks for the follow-up. Appreciate everybody.
Yeah, there's one question I do have though. I didn't find anything in there about high water mark. A lot of lakes, a lot of rivers, a lot of things have building requirements that go off of high water mark. Most of them are dictated by the county. I couldn't find that in the county for anything around here, so. Because with the flooding we had, it's something to think of.
I think that's somewhere else we covered, because I'm like, so. All right, thank you. All right, town planning commission recommendations. Thank you for graciously waiting, so. Well, I'll refer to you.
First recommendation was to approve the Fort Pickens. Planning commission recommended approval of that, and the second one was a 2-year continuation of a additional use permit for Clean Building. Board recommended approving, the commission recommended approving that as well.
We're gonna vote on that one. Or so you're making a motion to approve that?
You want to have a talk to this?
Oh, you want to go up back before? I think I agree with you. You want to come up? You don't have to talk the whole spring. I think they were all here, so.
Yeah, don't want to pull Groundhog Day and say the same thing all over again.
Yeah, so. Any questions on the extension of the gravel pit? Just a renewal. Well, we've had it forever.
Yeah, I did talk to Ms. Buckholz, between the meetings, and I was, curious as to how large the current extractive area is, and you said about 7.5 acres.
Yep,
And
exactly.
you'll be working that 7.5 acres for several more years.
Yeah, on that site plan, there's that area outlined in red, that's about 7.5 acres, that's where we're extracting material from above the water table, and like I was explaining to Mr. Gerke, we're also extracting below the water table in that pond to the south as well, just mixing that material together. And as far as how long it'll last, the site itself could be anywhere between 25 and 50 years, just depending on the work in the area.
And I did want to clarify, and I have in the minutes that at the end of the life of this pit, that there will be a donation of a substantial amount of property to the town of Waterford and probably to the village of Rochester as well. So I'd just like to have that in the minutes so it doesn't get lost in the coming decades. So, and you did say you were aware of that, correct?
Yes, I am aware that there's a donation exists. Of the details, I'm not sure. I did not look at that before the meeting. I know it's been discussed in the past, but I don't. That's
I was
a
surprising by that, but I just gonna be one of my last meetings, so I wanted to make sure that you got it in the minutes.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, looking for a motion to approve.
Move to approve the planning commission's
We
recommendation.
got a motion, looking for a second.
I'll second that motion.
Second, any further discussion? Now we'll call for it. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, moving on.
So did we vote on the chicken ordinance?
We don't have to vote.
You don't have to.
That's the planning. commission.
Oh, I thought only had the pairs, okay.
You do the chickens. All right, new business. Discussion of possible action regarding ordinance update recycling section Wisconsin DNR. We requested by the DNR to update this ordinance. Everybody got a new copy of it. Had a chance to review it and talk about it and move forward here. So. When I went with Tina the other day going over it, there's some verbiage changes, stuff like that. There's nothing. I know the ordinance committee looked at it too, sent something over. The highlighted stuff. Does anybody have any questions on this change to this ordinance?
I have no questions, Tim.
I think there's some confusing, or well, maybe not confusing, but convoluted language in the ordinance that kind of if this, then that sort of stuff, that in order to figure out what the most restrictive ordinance that might apply, you have to read through the entire code book to make sure that there isn't some other ordinance that relates to garbage or recycling. Additionally, 6.07 must be the old code, so I don't know what the new equivalent is.
But we don't have to vote on it now, we can delay this to next month's meeting and have it researched if you want. I wanna make sure we cover all our bases, but, if there's some things you have, so you're thinking 6.07 is not the correct one now?
I believe that had something to do with police.
Tony, I'll defer to you.
The only thing that I had time to look at on this one was the change, the recommendations from the ordinance committee about, removing like flattening the recycling. So I was able to find that there is, like, that's fine to do that. But I didn't have a whole lot of time to look through the rest of it.
Chapter 6 is highways and roads.
Yeah, so.
Okay, well then I'm gonna recommend that we just wait, give you some more time to review it, Tony.
Yep.
And then bring it back to more this month, okay? Your next month, April meeting. So, we're gonna hold off on that. Careful. All right, moving forward, discussion possible action regarding resolution authorizing participation in the preparation of a cooperative boundary plan with the village of Waterford. Okay, Tom or Dale, you were on the committee last time. We're revisiting this, move forward. Something's obviously gotta be changed from the last time. The village just recently changed their maximum or the ET, extraterritorial jurisdiction. So our residents can break up their lots and stuff like that. That was voted on last week, and it could be voted on again tonight. So Dale, I'm gonna refer to you on this, right?
Sure, I'll make a few comments. I'm glad you're bringing this forward. You know, the boundary agreement that we came up with, included a year and a half's worth of work with the committee with 50 meetings and 3 public, listening sessions. Now, this agreement is equally beneficial to both the town and the village. It provides a clear pathway for both municipalities to grow and develop over the next 40 to 50 years. The village could grow from the defined village growth areas, and the town can grow everywhere else outside those areas without the constraint of the village's extraterritorial plat review or zoning control. The plan can be modified or amended by a majority vote of both the town and village. The plan gives the town a portion of property tax revenue on any parcels annexed in the village for 10 years, which is 5 years longer than required by state law. The village and town would evenly split the agricultural land conversion charge if an agriculturally zoned property is annexed into the village. The plan preserves over 98% of the town's tax base and over 94% of the town's land area. The village's 1.5 mile extraterritorial zoning and land division authority encompasses approximately 3,760 acres. The 5 village growth areas encompasses about 1,179 acres, thus giving the town an additional 2,581 acres to develop outside the village's growth area without requiring their review and approval. This is a great benefit to the town. Finally, any parcels remaining in the village growth area that have not annexed into the village at the end of the 40 or 50-year term would remain in the town. The village can provide municipal sewer and water to these proposed village growth areas, which the town cannot, which would be a benefit for the town owners, for the property owners. Without a boundary agreement, the town will not be able to develop anything within 1.5 miles of the village border without their written approval, so.
That's gone up there.
Oh, my time is up?
No, that's gone, they voted that down last week. What you
Well-
mentioned is fine. So,
No, that we still, even though that what they got rid of is the 20-acre minimum, or the 20-acre minimum. They still within the, if we don't have a boundary agreement. They still would need approval to approve a CSM or a subdivision plan before it could be approved, if it's within the village growth area, so they did get rid of the 20-acre minimum. But we still would need approval from the village for any development within 1.5 miles of the village. For any CSM or subdivision plan or any zoning changes. If we would approve this, the village would go down to 5 village growth areas of 1,179 acres. And the town would have the remaining 2,500 additional acres to develop. without any extraterritorial review or approval by the village for 40 or 50 years. I mean, that is really huge. That's more than 2/3 of the extraterritorial zoning and land division authority that the village has. So I think it would be a great deal for the town if we review this and eventually approve it.
So Tim, let me jump in. Let me jump in here. I'm also supportive of taking another run at this with the village. I think it makes all the sense. The action that the village took to rescind its 20-acre minimum within the ETJ was a huge, huge step to take down one of the major hurdles that was in front of this work the last time we did it. And the objections that came from this board were largely based upon that stipulation being in there, and then the town's response to that, which I think as we go forward and take another run at this, can be removed. And some of the major impediments regarding concerns that that members of this board had at that time, I would hope and shouldn't be there when we go at this again. I do want to clarify that all of the value statements that Supervisor Garkey just mentioned are based on the work that was done the last time and the body of work that is essentially sitting on the table right now. There shouldn't be any presumptive assumptions here that all of that necessarily is going to be included in the boundary agreement when we go at it again. I would like to see all of those things that Supervisor Garkey laid out be included in there, but it is important for this board and the public to understand that this is a brand new effort. It is not a continuance of the old one. It is a brand new effort, even though we have a very, very thorough body of work that is at our disposal if whoever works on this wants to take advantage of that. But I'm very supportive. I like what I'm seeing from the village in terms of the leadership there taking a responsible action to address that 20-acre minimum within the extraterritorial zoning. And I'm very optimistic that if we work in partnership with them again, the way that we did the last time, we can be successful in a mutually beneficial agreement for both municipalities. The other thing that I'll just say in finishing on this is that we learned some important lessons as a municipality the last time we did this. And one of those very important lessons was what in fact was an error that was made by the town board at the time in constituting the individuals that were going to go forward and work on this with individuals from the village. We will not make that same error this time around, and objections that were raised after 2 years of work with respect to how the town was approaching that work should not be an issue when we go at this again. So those are my thoughts. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. We're looking for a motion to accept authorized participation in the preparation cooperative boundary plan. Somebody make that motion?
I will make that motion.
A motion, looking for a second.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, now discussion. Bob? Okay, I have a little discussion. Tony Kreisig, I know we talked briefly. Last time this happened, we didn't have a legal representative working on that with the ad hoc committee. So, are you the person to do this, or do we look for the council? Because I just want to make sure that the town is properly presented.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, so prior to Tina leaving for Disney World, I asked her when she gets back, we'll put a notice out there for creating this ad hoc working group to get together, review what was done, and bring it back to the board monthly to see where we're at, the board to eventually take action working with the village. I know there's a process to it because there was public meetings, we gotta start all over. I wanna make sure that we don't miss a piece of meeting over the property. So.
Yeah, Tim, I just want to jump in on that real quickly so that there's clarification on this. This is a really important point that when you select the individuals who are going to be part of the town's ad hoc working group on this. That is not a publicly constituted body or sub-body of this board. That is a group of individuals that are being selected to work informally with individuals from the village to bring forward ideas to the town board and the village board. The boards are solely responsible for any action being taken with respect to the boundary plan and any negotiation thereof.
I don't think you can do that.
I believe that you can.
Well, I'm not gonna be the one violating the open meetings laws.
Well, this is, Tony, this is one where I'm going to ask you to do the research and gather the information with respect to this particular item. My understanding, based on the research that I've done and what I've gotten on this, is that the ad hoc working group is not a publicly constituted body unless the board, like it did 3 years ago or whenever that was, actually voted to create a subcommittee, which this will not be, to go forward and represent the town. This is an informal body. And Tony, we need, but when this group is assembled, we need your legal opinion and representation with respect to Chapter 66 on this particular item.
Any further discussion? Okay, we have a motion second. I'm gonna call for a vote. In favor, Bob?
Aye.
Aye, Dale?
Aye.
Alright, Tom?
Aye.
Okay. All right, passes. Thank you. All right, moving on to the chair report. I just have a couple of quick things. I received a letter from town resident John Pollard. I want to put you in touch with Jim Manning. Our DPW has went through multiple changes in the last couple months since we last talked. Jim is the new head of the DPW. He's got some suggestions for the town dump when it comes to fall and stuff like that. I did not bring this up to line 10 or not 10 hints because he was leaving and I don't think it would go anywhere. So I know you're working on some new ideas for the dump, stuff like that. So he's got some good ideas. I'm gonna hand you the letter he gave me. You got it already? Okay. So talk together and next month or the following month, whatever you work out. I know you're working on different ideas for the dump and stuff like that. So, and the second thing, board members, we have a special meeting this Friday at 10 a.m. with the WPPA to continue working on to do agreement with the union, stuff like that, and to cover some other items that the chief wanted to discuss. We'll be going over his goals and we'll be going over body cameras, and there's one more. Looking at hiring a new police clerk. So that'll be discussed on Friday. All right, other than that, looking for, it was not on here. The Easter egg hunt. Thought that was gonna be on here. Good.
That's.
Okay, it was missed. Well, the Easter egg hunt's coming up March.
I think that what we're looking for, is if this is something, according to the,
The ordinance, yeah.
it does say whether, profit or nonprofit, it needs to come before the board. But if this is something you don't want to come before the board, then we just want something on the record, and then
Okay, well,
for the Easter egg hunt, then we will just continue.
I will just tell the chair report. The Easter egg hunt for the town park is scheduled March 28th. 9 a.m. They're having Easter morning at 9 a.m. Easter egg hunt starts at 10. It's done by 10:10. It's a very quick event. The Lions are stuffing 5,000 eggs this Thursday night. So it's grown over the years. It's a little chaos, but it's a fun event for the kids to watch them. There's 4 age groups. So.
You're gonna have a helicopter dropping eggs soon?
No, we're not that.
You're not throwing that?
No, we're not. The Lions guys are watching, they're not that technical. So. All right, so that's into my chair report. Looking for a motion to adjourn.
Adjourn.
Got a second? All in favor?
Aye.
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 6:24, thank you very much.
Thank you everybody for coming tonight.
Thanks all.
Thank you, Tom.